Hi. If you watched my video yesterday, I told you that I was getting my hair done. And while my hairdresser, her name is Rose, she's lovely. Hi, Rose, if you ever see this video, hello. While she was doing my hair, she asked me, like, we got into a conversation about like travel. She wanted to travel with her family, and she kind of told me her backstory. She, her husband, and her three kids are here in Querétaro, Mexico now, and she does hair, and she's incredible. Love her. She did a great job. But we got into the topic of travel, and she asked me about my experience in South Korea. And one of the stories that came up for me that I wanted to share here was how, like, we were able to use music as a way to connect, that I was able to use music as a way to connect with my students. I was placed in an all boys high school on Jeju Island and really enjoyed it. My students were very sweet. And I remember one day we kind of had what felt like a bit of a free period. We had some free time at the end of the class before the bell rang. And a couple of my students came to me and shared that they were musicians, they were hip hop artists. And I remember they shared their Facebook page, and I followed them on their Facebook page. And I asked them to give me recommendations of artists that they really loved. And so they started writing down, and some of the artists were Korean, and then some were like American artists. And I remember looking at the list and being like, okay, I see that most of the American artists they like are very modern, very new. And not that they were bad or anything, but it's just I was not surprised, right? Because like American our how we export American culture is really interesting. And you never can really tell what's gonna be popular somewhere. Like, for instance, Beyoncé at the time, I don't know if I said this already, but I applied for the TEFL, the Teach English as a Foreign Language, certification in 2016, and by the end of 2016 into 2017, I was in South Korea teaching. And at the time, Beyoncé had just gotten really popular, and the song that everybody knew was Single Ladies. And I think about that. I'm like, yo, I've been knowing about Beyonce since, Destiny's Child and Girls Time. And I remember when the band was or the group was four women and all of the shifts and changes in between. And it was just so interesting because here she had had this like 20-year career everywhere else. And then in Asia, she really blew up with Single Ladies. But anyway, um, I was looking at the list and I was like, "Okay, okay, cool." And so I asked them, I said, "Can I share some artists that I like with you?" And they were like, "Sure." And I made it a point to write down like classic hip hop artists like KRS-One, A Tribe Called Quest, Most Def and Talib Kweli, Common, The Roots. Like I'm writing down all of these folks that like, listen, I'm not a hip hop head, but I know enough about more classic hip hop. That's what I call it anyway, because I wanted them to understand and have a view into hip hop that felt like storytelling and was imparting wisdom and knowledge and culture, like real culture, not just whatever was being pumped into the system at the time. And I don't know, I think about that and it just makes me smile, and I really, really hope that those kids are, I mean, at this point, that was what, 2016, 2017, they're probably in their 20s by now. And I just really hope that they're still making music. I hope that they were able to like go home and search some of the music and listen and and read the lyrics and get a different idea of hip hop culture and black culture, black American culture especially. And so like, I don't know, that moment really gives me a warm feeling knowing that as a black woman, I was able to go to Korea and give these students a different, a more accurate, more culturally aware, view of the American experience from a Black perspective, rather than just whatever they're being fed online and through other means. So that's my story today. And yeah. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, if you don't know me, my name is Siobhan. I'm a 40 something Black American woman who trolls the internet streets talking about solo travel, living abroad, and being a woman with full agency over her life, as I am learning to do every day, step by step. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.